I just snapped one day.
This is John Weston Erickson. On October 28, 2020, he stabbed his wife Utana to death in front of their 2 children. His 7-year-old daughter saw him cutting her open. She tried to grab the knife. His 11-year-old son kicked and punched him to stop it. Officers found Utana on the bedroom floor, multiple stab wounds, defensive wounds on her hands, dead. John was on the bed with self-inflicted cuts, telling police, "She's dead. I meant for that." Now he's in the interrogation room, and what he says next, and how detectives dismantle every word of it, is the part that changes everything.
Hey, John.
Hi.
Hello.
This is Dane and Britt. They're
Hello,
the
John.
detectives I work with.
Hi there.
Hey.
Britt. Nice to meet you.
Have a seat, please. You got some water?
Right here.
Perfect. If you need more, let us know. We're happy to supply as much as we need to.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm Dane. This is Britt. We're one of the investigators here with Unified Police Department. How's your recovery going, man?
It's going pretty good. I'm feeling better. Still, obviously,
Sure.
my wounds still hurt.
Oh yeah.
I'm a little bit shaky.
Yeah.
I've been going through some alcohol withdrawals.
Have you?
Still a little bit.
Okay.
Is that better today than it was at the beginning?
Got a little bit of tremors related to those.
Okay.
Yes. And then obviously emotionally, not great.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Well, I'm glad to see you recovering. It's probably going to be I would assume a lengthy process. I don't know the extent of the damage or the injuries to you, but I can only imagine that it's going to take some time to get back to normal. And I'm glad to see that you're up and walking and vertical. That's all good. So and then the alcohol withdrawals. Those, how are those? I mean, I don't drink. I've never had withdrawals of anything, and so it's a new territory for me to understand how those are affecting you. Is it hard to deal with those?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they've been taking care of me at the hospital, but
That's good.
I'm not in the hospital anymore, so
Is there a little bit of concern there?
yeah, I've gone through some I've gone through 6 detoxes before, and alcohol withdrawal is a very scary thing for me,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's a little bit worried about it.
Yeah.
You've gone through 6 detoxes from alcohol before?
Yes.
Oh wow, okay. So you're pretty familiar with the symptoms?
Yes, I'm familiar with the symptoms.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're pretty scary.
Well, you made it out of those ones, so at least you have some kind of experience with it. So you know what to expect.
Well, medically assisted experience.
True.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. We brought you down here because we want to talk to you. That's the bottom line. I'm not going to mince words. I'm not going to be vague about it. We have some questions we want to ask you and hopefully get an understanding as to your position on this case. But before we do that, I mean, you've been advised once already that you're technically in custody. I don't know if you recall that conversation or not, but for formality's sake, you are still in custody. And because of that, we do have to advise you what your rights are as a citizen. You've probably heard them on television before. So I'm just going to pull this little card out and read it word for word so that there's no mess up on my part and it's clear understanding on your part. If you have questions about it, let me get through the card, and then if you have questions, I'm happy to go back to backtrack and answer anything that you have about what these rights mean, okay?
Got it.
And do you mind if I call you John? Is that most comfortable for you?
Perfectly fine.
Okay. Is Jonathan your legal name, or is it just John?
John is my legal
Just
name.
John, okay. And it's John Weston, just so we're...
John Weston Erickson.
Okay, perfect. Mr. Erickson, currently you are under arrest, and you do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to have an attorney with you while you are being questioned. If you cannot afford to hire an attorney, one will be appointed to represent you before any questioning if you wish. You can decide to answer, if you decide to answer questions now, you may request counsel at any time during questioning. If you If you decide to make if you decide at any time to exercise these rights and not answer my questions, you don't have to make any statements. Okay, so you can have an attorney with you. You don't have to answer anything that I say. Do you understand each of those?
I do, yes.
Having those in mind, like I said, I've got some questions. I know Detective Hulse has got some questions, mainly just for clarification. Is really kind of what it comes down to. Are you willing to talk with us about these things?
I can talk, yes.
Okay, fabulous. So, the way I typically like to do these things, I like to give you the opportunity to tell me your side of the story. You know, I want to know what was going on the night that you and Utana were together last. And just tell it to him. Just tell me the story. You know, if you were drinking, tell me about it. You know, how much have you had? How much, things like that. And just fill in the blanks for me and tell me what you know. Can you do that?
Sure.
Okay.
So, I believe it was a Tuesday, right?
I believe so. Maybe it was Wednesday.
I think it was a Wednesday.
Wednesday. Yeah, it was Wednesday.
Right? Yes, I had been drinking. I can't tell you the specific amount. I had been having some troubles at work.
Now, what do you do for work?
I'm a programmer.
Okay, computer stuff.
Computer stuff, yes. I've been reasonably unhappy at work for quite some time, and I've sought help multiple times to resolve the issues that I've had at work.
And when you say sought help, is that through work peers or work-related things?
Through long-term professional counseling.
Okay. So professional stuff.
Checked myself into a 30-day professional counseling facility multiple times.
Okay.
So those were the kinds of things going on Wednesday.
Yes, and I had finally just had enough and decided that I didn't want to deal with it anymore. And also on multiple occasions I've had guns and other implementations taken away from me to stop me from hurting myself. And I had decided I was just done. I was gonna slit my wrists, and Utana walked in on me mid-suicide, was none too happy to see what I was doing, attempted to stop me. We kind of struggled over it. She tried to take the knife from me, and unfortunately she got the worst of it. And after that happened, while that was happening, she was calling out to the kids, telling them, get away, go call 911, which they fortunately did. And then afterwards, then I went ahead and finished doing this to myself.
Yeah. Okay.
It was,
Go ahead.
that was the sum of it.
Okay.
She was trying to help me. And unfortunately, I ended up hurting her instead.
Okay. Where did this happen?
It happened in our bedroom.
Your bedroom. Okay. Where were you at when she walked in the bedroom? Like, where specifically were you at?
Sort of towards the end of the bed.
At the foot? The foot of the bed?
Foot of bed. I was like on the foot of the bed, like this with the knife. Like this.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So then she walks in and sees this happening. What
Walks
did
in.
she say? Anything? What
She
happened?
says, "Oh, what are you doing?" Obviously, is very angry. Runs over, tries to grab the knife. Like, no, I'm not stopping. There's kind of a struggle. The knife ends up first in her throat, and then She yells out, "What have you done?" And then the kids run, and she starts yelling to them, "Call 911, call 911." And then there's sort of a panic, and
The panic from you?
both of us, from everybody, the whole family, and things just deteriorate from there.
Can you explain how?
I was
What do you-
quite intoxicated. I was very, very drunk.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
My understanding is that, I mean, you've said it yourself as well, you've had a history with alcohol. Your tolerance level is probably fairly high, I would imagine. Sounds like it's been a struggle for you for many years.
Right.
You know, I'm sorry that that's been a vice of yours. It's a hard thing to conquer, and and it can lead to terrible things. For yourself, for your family, things like that. Do you recall? Well, let me back up. When you say things deteriorated, what do you mean by that? Can you shed some light for me on that?
We were fighting. The knife went into her throat. I tried to slice myself again. She kept trying to fight me. The knife went down her arm. At that point, I realized she wasn't going to make it. She sort of laid down on the ground. At that point, I laid down on the bed, and then I tried to open up the rest of my veins.
Okay. All right.
At the point, I remember two. I don't remember all the stab wounds on myself. I remember two on her, the one in the throat from the accident, and the one from her putting her arm up to try to defend herself.
Okay. Can you describe this knife for me?
It's a fishing knife. It's about that long, maybe an 8-inch long fishing knife.
Is that 8 inches in total, or is that the blade length?
Total.
Total. Okay.
Maybe like a 4-inch blade length, something like that.
Okay. All right. Is it a folding knife? Is it
Straight blade knife.
a fixed blade, straight blade style? Okay. Where do you normally keep that knife at?
In the house, in a fishing bag that I have.
Okay. Do you carry that with you?
No, I don't carry it with me. I have a large amount of fishing supplies downstairs. I have a desk downstairs. It's a fishing desk with a large amount of fishing supplies in it. It's usually kept in there.
Is that the third level down?
Yeah.
Okay.
hmm
Okay.
And I know that's the knife I use for fishing, so I know that it's very sharp and that it would do what I wanted it to do.
It'll do the job. Well,
Not a kitchen knife or something like
sure.
that.
Okay. So it's relatively sharp then. It sounds like you avid fisher.
So I had brought that from downstairs to upstairs with myself. Yeah.
Okay. Is there a particular reason why you went into the master bedroom itself, or why you wouldn't have stayed
Because
downstairs?
I've been trapped down in the basement for months and months now for work.
Working from home.
Working from home. It's depressing down there. I wanted to go up and be in more of a sunlit area.
Something more
It was
comfortable.
More comfortable for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, I appreciate you telling me your version of that. Is there anything else you want to touch on or explain?
No, there's not.
Okay. Do you recall
Just yelling, "Why are you hurting mommy?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Did she try to stop you?
Other than yelling, no.
Okay. Did anybody try to stop you
Other than Donna, no.
other than Utah? Okay. So Utana had several injuries on her, two of which you've explained, the throat cut and the arm. Do you recall any other times where she would have been injured other than those two?
No.
Okay. All right. So explain a little bit more in detail about the knife going into her throat. Was that accidental? I thought you said that it may have been, but I didn't quite pick up on it. Do you know if that was an accident, or is it more of just a struggle, or was that something that you intentionally did?
It's just an accident in the struggle.
Yeah. Okay. So can you kind of describe how that was occurring to me? I realize that you have the knife, and she's probably standing in front of you, but can you give me a little bit more detail as to how that knife ended up where it ended up?
I can't.
Okay. Was she grabbing onto you?
She was grabbing on me, trying to get the knife, yes.
Okay. And then in that struggle, and I'm just kind of guessing at this point, but in that struggle, I'm guessing it's kind of a tug back and forth type thing?
Tug back and forth, stand up.
Okay. Were you both standing?
I was sitting.
Where were you sitting?
I said I was sitting on the end of the bed.
On the end of the bed. Okay, so you were still there and she was in front of you?
Yeah.
Okay. Which side of the bed do you sleep on usually?
The right side.
So looking at the bed, it would be the left. If you're looking away from the bed, it would be on the right. Farthest from the
Sitting this-
bedroom door?
My right here.
Okay, so your side of the bed is farthest from the master bedroom doorway. Is that right? Okay, towards the windows. Okay. Okay. So then you said she kind of goes down, and you knew she was done. How did you know?
I felt the air go out of her.
You felt the air go out of her? Okay, so you must have been relatively close to her at that point. Is that right?
I was.
Okay, where?
I felt it. I didn't feel the air go out of her. I heard the sigh go out of her.
And nothing
Like it just
come back in?
Yes.
Okay,
She had stopped moving.
okay. And where was she at?
She was on the floor next to the bed,
Which side?
on her side of the bed.
Her side? Okay. Was she face down? Was she face up? Was she on her side?
Face down.
Okay. Did you have any thoughts at that moment?
Of course, I had thoughts at that moment.
What were they?
They were, what have I done? Which is exactly what she said to me when the knife went into her throat. What have you done? And I looked and I thought, what have I done?
So then your solution was to finish it on yourself?
I had already started on myself. I didn't think that I was going to make it.
Yeah. Well, John, I'm sorry the night this happened, I'm sorry you've had to deal with the trauma and the turmoil of work and this incident. I can only imagine it's hard to deal with right now.
It is.
Tell me a little bit about your history with Utana over the past couple of years. Have you guys been a happy married couple? Have you guys had your fair share of arguments? Give me a little kind of a baseline as to what your relationship was like.
Donna and I do fairly well together. We don't argue very hard. An argument between Utana and I typically doesn't last more than a day or two. It's typically I dust up for a few minutes and then a silent treatment and then things go back to normal.
Do you guys talk about those issues?
She's been invited to counseling with me before.
No.
Yep, we do talk about them.
Okay. Are they productive conversations? Do you feel like things get resolved when you have the dust-ups, as you so put?
We've been doing very well the past couple of weeks, yes, especially.
Okay. What about the last couple of years?
Last couple of years,
Mm-hmm.
I think things have gone just fine the past couple of years.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good. I just had a question and it just skipped my mind. I apologize. Okay. So you have tiffs, we'll call them, like any married couple. Is that right? Has it ever gotten physical between the two of you?
Never.
No. Okay. And you mentioned that you've had some depression over the past couple of years. It sounds like you've. Have you tried to commit suicide before?
No.
Okay. Have you thought about committing suicide before?
Yes.
Okay. Is that partially why you've been going to counseling, is to kind of help with some of those ideations?
Yes.
Okay. That's hard. I don't know anything about programming. In fact, I'm lucky enough to work my way around a computer on the basic level. So I can only imagine that you're a pretty smart guy. And you have to know the ins and outs of a working computer, and I don't get it. You know, that's something I can absolutely respect for you in your position. And I don't know anything about the programming world, you know, or what that job entails. But I can imagine there's probably some stress to it, just like anything else. You know, you yourself said that you've been getting some counseling. Did that kind of spill into your counseling sessions a little bit? Stress from the work and the job and things like that. Was that kind of a tribute to some of these suicidal ideations?
It was, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Tell me about those.
Just stress from work.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is a very stressful job.
Yeah.
So,
What's stressful about it? Educate me.
I work for a Fortune 500 company. Some of the systems that I work on, should they fail and break down, systems for that entire company will break down, and I'm heavily relied on to keep those up and running. That is extremely stressful. There's also at work a level of unfulfillment. It's not the most fulfilling profession in the world.
Sure.
So there's a lot of depression associated with it.
Mm-hmm. Are you kind of a baseline employee, middle of the road type guy? Are you a supervisor? What's your role in this company?
Up to this point, I'm a baseline guy, but considered one of the top performing baseline guys.
Okay. Successful for your position then,
Yes.
I would imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Okay. Well, so the stresses of the job, you know, coupled with probably some of the fights that you've had with Ton over the tiffs, coupled with the alcohol, sounds like there's definitely some stressors in your life that would push anybody over the edge. You know, I don't do very well with stress. I'm sure Detective Holtz doesn't. Stress is a terrible thing in our life. You know, it sucks. So what was your thought process during all of this, the night of the incident, when you thought, you know, I'm done? What was the crux that kind of pushed you over the edge to make you decide tonight's the night that I'm going to commit suicide? Because you said you've never tried it. Obviously, you've had thoughts. I think every normal person in this world has had thoughts about something like that. But what was it that pushed you over the edge on Wednesday night?
There have been at least 3 incidences throughout the day where I had people just tell me, not good enough, not good enough, not good enough. And there was just the final one where I said, fine, I guess I'm not good enough. I'm just not going to do this anymore.
Yeah. Tell me about those incidences. Walk me through your day.
I can't, without looking specifically at my computer, I can't tell you the specific incidences.
Was it work people then?
It was work people, yes.
Okay. Supervisors?
Yes.
Okay. So something is going on at work that your upper management's not happy with, and they come back to you and say, this isn't good enough.
And I just kept getting pushed down and down and down until I reached the point where I was like, fine,
Okay.
I'm not good enough.
What time did you start drinking? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
Okay. Historically, do you start early in the morning, or is it a couple of times throughout the day?
Maybe at noon.
Maybe at noon is when you start?
Maybe.
Okay.
It depends. Depends on the day.
Yeah. And I get that. I like I said, I'm I guess I'm asking what the average would be, because I understand that one day you could be stressed a little earlier in the afternoon or a little later in the evening. It's hard to say, So, but noon is kind of a rough, I guess a rough average is when you start drinking.
Depends on the day.
Yeah. Are you an everyday drinker?
Yes.
What do you typically like to drink?
Whiskey.
Whiskey. Like I said, I'm not a drinker. I think I've tasted whiskey once in my life and didn't like it.
I love whiskey.
There
On
you
a
go.
regular basis.
So, okay, so on the night, on Wednesday night, you obviously were drinking. You said yourself you couldn't tell me how much you've had, and that it's irrelevant, Do you typically drink down at your desk?
Depends.
Okay. We did find a bottle in your bedroom next to your bed. That was a whiskey bottle. I think it was Canadian Host. Is that right?
That's right.
Okay. Is that one of your favorites?
Yes.
Okay. So that was fairly empty. I don't know how long you retain these liquor bottles, and what a full bottle, how long that will last you. But like you mentioned, it probably just depends on how much you're drinking and whatnot. But that bottle, specifically the one next to your bed, did you take that from your desk, or do you keep that by your bed?
I've taken that one from my desk.
Okay. And then, so I guess you take the bottle from the desk, you grab your fishing knife at the same time, or
At the same time.
Okay. And then you go upstairs to try to commit suicide. Okay. And then that's when you call her Tana. Is that what she normally
That's
goes
what
by?
she's normally called. Yes.
Okay,
Tana.
so Tana walks in on you. Was the door closed? Was the door open?
Door was open.
Door was open. Okay. So what was the plans? What was the evening schedule looking like?
I thought that they were going to be gone for the evening. She had the kids. They were going to go out to a little Halloween party.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they were going to be gone.
Okay. So that was the plan. Were they? I mean, I've been in your home, and I know that to get from your office in the basement to get to your master bedroom, you go up the stairs and you go through main living areas, the kitchen, the sitting room by the front door. We've got the downstairs sitting room, the TV room, or whatever you guys call it. Where was everybody? I mean, if you make that trek from the basement to your bedroom, did you not see anybody, or did you not know they were home? Or
I thought they were gone.
okay,
She must have come back.
okay. So did they leave?
That frequently happens.
What does?
Tana will leave, and then we'll come back.
Oh, okay. Just a mom forgetting something
Mom
or
forgetting
whatever.
stuff, yes.
Okay. My wife always forgets stuff as well. So, okay, so they had left, and you thought or you at least thought they had left. Do you know if they were outside, or were they in the garage, anything like that?
I don't know.
You don't know. Okay. And that's fine. So then you're in the bedroom, you got your stuff, Tana walks in, what are you doing? That's kind of how she starts it. Did you respond, or was it just an immediately she come over and try to get the knife from you?
Just immediate.
Okay. And by this point, you said you'd already cut once, right? Yeah, that's the one, you'd already tried cutting that one. And that's when she about walked in. Am I right in that? Okay. So then the struggle happens at the foot of the bed on your side.
No, just in the middle.
Oh, in the middle of the bed. Okay, but at the foot, right? Okay. So she tries to get this knife from you, and somewhere in this interaction, the knife enters her neck. And your claim is that it's between the struggle, the back and forth, right? Okay. Was it just the one entrance, the one puncture or slice, or however you want to say it, when it went into her neck? Was it the one time?
I don't remember.
Okay. All right. And then were you guys at the foot of the bed?
Well, at the point that it went in her neck, we had stood up,
Uh-huh.
right? And then we were sort of moving around. And then that's it, I guess. I don't know.
Okay. All right. And then, somewhere from this interaction, you're at the foot of the bed, Tana transitions to her side of the bed. Do you recall, is that how that happened? Was it just in
Just
the...
a sort of fall, I guess. I don't know.
Okay. All right. And you don't remember...
Other than her yelling, I don't remember that.
Okay. All right. Do you have any questions?
Yes. So, John, it sounds like it's probably a little bit difficult to kind of recall some of these details, maybe, due to how you were feeling or the alcohol consumption, and I can understand that. So all we can ask of you is to tell us what you can remember, and that's why we have specific questions. So it's real easy if you don't remember something like you've been doing, you can just say, I don't remember. But as you've been doing so far, just answer them the best you can, okay? So going back to that Wednesday, I know you can't recall exactly like what happened with your work that kind of sent you over the edge, but from the time you woke up on Wednesday morning until the time that you decided I'm going to kill myself, tell me everything that happened and don't leave anything out.
I wouldn't be able to do that without my computer.
Okay, so you wake up in the morning, what's the very first thing you did?
Have coffee.
Okay, so you had coffee, and then what happened?
Woke the kids up for school like I always do.
Okay,
Went down to start work. Started on my regular tasks. What those regular tasks are, I couldn't tell you.
that's okay.
I couldn't tell you specifically.
Okay, when you first woke up that morning, tell me what was different about that morning than any other morning. Did you feel the same or something else?
I couldn't tell you.
Okay, so you wake the kids up. Do you get them ready for school or just wake them up and go
Tana
downstairs?
and I always get the kids ready for school together.
Okay, and you did that Wednesday morning.
Yes.
Was there any issues between you and Tana at that time? Okay, so they get ready, you go downstairs. How long are you downstairs working on Wednesday? Like hours?
All day.
Okay. So you're down there working, some things transpire that obviously your bosses are telling you you're not doing good enough, you're not doing good enough, you're not doing good enough. At some point the kids come home from school, is that right?
Yes.
What were you doing then?
Downstairs working.
Okay, did you ever have any interaction with the kids before all this happened?
From school and gives me a hug. Yes.
Okay, so did that happen on Wednesday?
Yes.
Okay. That's okay. Like I said, if you don't remember, it's okay. Both of us are just trying to understand that whole day. It kind of helps us kind of put it all together. When we have just this, if you compare it to the whole day, just this small part of the day, it's better fit in kind of throughout the day. Does that make sense?
Right.
Okay. So she may or may not come down and say hi to you. They're home from school, and then you're down there, and at some point you decide to yourself, obviously I'm not good enough. That's it. I'm going to kill myself. Okay. You said you were under the understanding that they would be leaving. How did you know that?
I knew that they had a Halloween party they were going to be going to.
Okay. So were they kind of getting ready for that, or?
They were getting ready for that.
Okay. Tell me what she was wearing, your wife.
Black t-shirt.
Okay. So that time that she walks into the room when you're trying to kill yourself, she's wearing a black t-shirt or something else?
I don't remember what she was wearing.
Okay. All right, so at some point you're under the impression that they're gone. When you come upstairs with that knife with the intention to kill yourself, you don't see them anywhere, so you think they're gone. Is that right so far?
I think they're gone.
Okay.
I don't know.
Right, that was your impression. I'm not asking if they were gone, but that was your impression.
That was my impression.
Okay,
Yes.
so you go in there, you don't shut the door because you think you're alone, correct? All right, so you go down there and you pointed to your left arm. That's where you cut yourself first. Okay, so you cut yourself. She walks in there, and you said immediately there was a struggle. So you're seated, she's standing, is that right? Okay, so she goes to physically remove the knife from you. Okay, and you said the knife ends up in her throat. So tell me exactly what happened from the moment she grabbed onto it until the moment it ended up in her
It's kind
throat.
of started to grab it from me, and I sort of stood up, and she was stabbed.
Okay. So you're doing a motion where you have both your hands on the knife, is that right?
Like this.
Okay, so you're doing this. She comes over and grabs what?
Grabs like this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no, and it's sort of like a struggle like this.
Okay.
They stand up. End up in her throat.
Okay. So you're looking at her. Obviously, that's very close quarters, right? So you're looking right at her, and you see the knife go into her throat. Tell me where you saw that go in.
It seemed like it went in like right here.
So if I was looking at you, I'm you and I'm looking at you, so you're pointing to your left side
Seemed
there?
like it was the left side.
Okay. So it goes in, and then tell me everything that knife does once it's in her throat.
So I remember pulling out, and then we're still struggling over it. And we fell on the ground, and the kids were jumping around, running, and I believe she put her arm up to defend herself, and then she got cut again.
Okay. So as we know already, struggles don't just stay in one place, and that's kind of what it sounded like. They kind of go everywhere, right? You don't really have a lot of control over that. So you remember it going in, you remember kind of yanking it out.
Just remember the knife remaining in my right hand.
Okay. So in my own imagination, when someone gets a knife in their throat, there's a certain reaction. So what did she do exactly right after that knife came out?
She yelled, "Oh my God, what have you done?"
She said that to you. What have you done?
Yes.
Okay. And then so now you have the knife. She's there. And what did that look like after the knife came out?
I don't even remember.
Okay.
Just think I remember seeing white.
Okay. So it's fair to assume there's some kind of injury there, right?
Yes.
Okay. So she's got an injury. You pull the knife back. She says, "What have you done?" And then what's the very next thing that happened?
It seemed like there may have been another grab for the knife
From her.
from her,
Okay.
and another slash.
Okay. And when you say
And then
slash,
a
who
fall
was...
to the ground. Me slashing,
Okay.
and then a fall to the ground.
Okay. So she's trying to get it from you. You slash. Tell me exactly where you slash at.
Just randomly.
So you're just like, get away from me, I'm slashing.
Yes.
Okay. So you slash somewhere near her. Did that knife make impact with her during that slash?
What?
You said you were slashing. Did you feel it hit
Yes,
anything?
I felt it hit her.
Okay. Where did you see it hit?
I felt it hit her arm.
Okay. And that's when you guys are still kind of transitioning from standing up?
Yes.
Okay. And you felt it hit her arm. Okay. And is this like a stab or like a
A
slice?
slice.
Okay. And so you feel that knife slice her arm. Do you remember which arm that was? If you're looking at her.
Left arm.
So her left arm, and can you show me where on her arm?
No.
Okay. So somewhere on her arm, it slices, right? And you said at some point, this all goes to the ground on her side of the bed.
Yes.
Okay.
And at that point, I could tell she was not going to make it.
Okay. So there was obviously something distinct about her that you thought to yourself, she's going to die. What was that?
Distinct?
Right. Something about how her condition was made you think she's not going to make it. What was that?
I could just felt a big in-breath and a big out-breath.
Okay.
And then I just knew.
And that's a breath from her?
Breath from her.
Okay.
It's like a big in-breath and a big out-breath. And then I knew, and I'm like, oh, no.
Okay. So when you said you felt that breath, help me understand how you felt it.
I felt it.
You said you felt her have that breath. So is that something you felt on your body? Did you hear it? Help me understand how you understood that.
Can't explain it.
Okay. So you became aware at some point that she took this deep breath in and a breath out, and you were like, she's not going to make it. Okay. And was she standing or laying down at that
I was
point?
laying down.
Okay. Tell me exactly what her body looked like when she was laying down.
Just laying prone, just prone on the ground on her face.
Okay. So she's on her face. You hear or see this breath come in and a breath come out,
Mm-hmm.
right? All right. So you talked about the kids running in and jumping around. At what point during all of that you just explained were they doing that?
At the point where the knife hit her throat. So then we started to struggle, and she told them to run and call 911. And I knew that they had left the house.
How did you know that?
I could hear them leave the house.
Okay. So did you hear them leave the front door or something else? How
I
did
don't
you
know how I heard them leave the house. We have a home alarm system. It's not turned on,
Okay.
but it makes a noise when you open and close the doors. I knew that they had left.
Okay. And you said you're doing this or something to that effect.
Something to that effect.
Okay. What were you doing at that time when she said that?
We were still struggling.
Okay, was that after the knife it went into her neck? So after that point, she said, "What are you doing to my mom?" or something like that. Okay. And then, did she immediately leave the room? Did she stay in there?
No, she ran.
Okay. Did she say anything else to you?
I don't know.
Okay. And you mentioned that Tana said, "What have you done?" Did she say anything else to you during this struggle?
I don't know.
Okay. So you see her laying on, you said prone, so on her face. You see that breath, you realize she's not going to make it. You hear the kids leave. And then what are you thinking at that point?
Thinking, I'm already done for. I might as well finish myself off.
Okay, so you're thinking, Tana's dead. I'm going to kill myself.
First I thought,
First you thought what?
my first concern was about the kids. I did leave the room to see if they were downstairs or outside.
Mm-hmm.
Then I went back upstairs.
Okay. So when you left that room, tell me everything you did until you came back in.
I didn't do anything. I just walked out of the room and looked and walked back in the room.
Okay. So when you say that, didn't you just leave the threshold and look around? Did you take a little loop around the house? What did you do?
I don't remember.
Okay. Once you realized, or once you thought they were gone, did you like lock the front door so they couldn't come back and see that again, or something like that?
I don't remember.
Okay. So at some point you're like, okay, the kids are not here. You go back inside, and then what's the very next thing you do?
Finish doing this.
Okay. And so you still have that same knife, right? Tell me exactly what you did to your throat.
Just stuck the knife in and slit my throat.
Okay, so you stuck it in and you made a motion like where you're dragging it?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you'd already had the injury on your left.
I had
Arm.
this one and I thought, I'll do this one too.
Okay. So you slice your throat, you slice your other arm, and then what do you do?
Took the knife and I laid it on my chest.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just laid down and thought, I'll just lay here and die.
Okay. And then what's the very next thing you remember happening after you're laying there waiting to die?
Remember the police coming in?
Mm-hmm.
And after that, I remember telling the surgeon to not save me and to just let me die.
Okay. What did you tell the police when they were there?
I don't remember interacting with the police.
Okay, so you remember seeing them in front of
I
you?
remember seeing them enter. I don't remember interacting with them.
Okay. So, I had the opportunity to interview both your children, yes. I think it was Thursday.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it, based on what you just told me, is it your impression they saw a lot of that?
A lot of the fight.
A lot of that? Probably blood and a lot of the other stuff? Like, what was your impression that they saw? Did your son see that?
A part of the fight, yes.
What part did he see?
I don't remember.
Okay. Did he do or say anything to you?
I don't remember.
Okay. So, you want to just give me that picture so I can show him?
Oh, it's on my desk. Yeah, do you want to grab it?
Yep. So like I said, I understand that you are may have some trouble recalling all the details, which is totally understandable due to a lot of reasons. Even if you hadn't been drinking, there's a certain level of trauma that does that, okay? But I want to make sure, based on what you're saying and based on what the same page as to what happened and how it happened. Does that make sense? Okay. Do children forensically, they go to a place for that, and we talk to them about what happened. Okay. On her hand. So try and recall and help me understand how that happened.
I don't know.
So you don't remember this interaction at all? Okay, so you do remember her coming in and saying, "Why are you doing this to my mom?" or something like that, right? Okay, well, at some point she tried to stop you from further cutting her mom, is basically how she said it. And she went to grab the knife from you as well, and she is probably going to need surgery on her fingers because, as you said, that knife's very sharp. So I need to understand from your perspective how that happened, if you recall.
I just remember the jumping around while we were struggling.
Okay, and so we described a few little spots where you're struggling, a few things going on. At what point were you guys at when they were jumping around?
Towards my wife's side of the bed.
So on the floor already?
Yeah.
Okay, so she's on the floor, you said prone, face down. You're standing, kneeling, what were you doing?
I don't remember.
Okay, somewhere near her, with the knife still in your hand.
Yes.
And what were you doing then while she was laying there?
Don't remember.
Okay, help me understand what you mean by jumping around. What exactly were they doing?
I just remember them yelling, "Don't stop hurting my mom."
Okay, so as they're saying, jumping around saying, "Stop hurting my mom," what were you doing to make them think you were hurting their mom?
I guess we were just still struggling.
Because at that point, so I really want to understand the timeline here. So at that point, you're saying she's already prone down on her face, and you're next to her with the knife. That's when they're saying that. So what were you doing for them to tell you that? Okay, so that's some of the stuff I'm trying to clear up because I talked to her, and that's her account of those things. That she saw you cutting her mom, and she tried to stop you. Okay, and she tried to grab the knife, and it was yanked away from her, and she sustained some pretty bad cuts. Okay, another thing that Detective Canavo, I'm sure, has a question about as well as I do, is you're talking about, so it comes in, it gets sliced in some way on her throat, and then you at least remember one arm being cut. You mentioned that she did that when she was trying to defend herself. What was she defending herself from?
She was defending herself from me. She was defending her kids.
Okay, so the way you're describing it, someone puts their hand up to defend themselves, right? What was happening that made her do that?
I don't remember.
Okay, you said earlier on, after it kind of went in her neck, and she said, "What have you done?" You were slashing. Tell me what you were thinking at that point. Why were you slashing?
I don't remember.
Okay, so is it fair to say you're coming at her slashing and she has to defend herself?
I don't remember.
Okay, so we've got that cut. We've got the one cut you're talking about, but there's some more injuries to her that we have. So we need to like fit where those happened in somewhere, because you were there and we were not, right? So was this like, and at this point you have all these emotions of failure, of not being good enough, that you might as well be dead, is from what you're saying. And now you realize that you've cut your wife, she's probably not going to make it. That's a lot of emotions for one human being to sustain. So would it be fair to say that you were just like enraged and just slashing and whatever, and that's why you can't remember all those things?
I can't answer that.
Okay. And that's what I'm trying to understand. I do not want to put words in your mouth, but I want to understand how it is that maybe you don't remember those things.
Do you understand?
Help me understand.
I can't explain. I do not recall her being anywhere near us during the struggle
Okay.
at all.
So you clearly want me to understand something, so make me understand.
On the bed, when we were struggling on the floor, being on the bed, jumping up and down, saying, "Stop hurting my mommy," and then running out of the room. I don't remember her grabbing for the knife. I don't remember her touching the knife. I don't remember her touching us at all.
Okay.
Showing me those pictures is surprising.
So nothing that I do today is for pure shock value. It is what happened. It is what it
It
is.
is what happened. I'm not denying anything that happened.
Right. And that's the only reason why.
I'm not denying anything that happened. I've not said that I haven't cut anybody, or that I haven't hurt, or that I haven't hurt Tana, or I haven't hurt myself. Okay?
Correct. And I appreciate that.
I would never, ever. That's very shocking that show me those pictures.
He's not physically injured. I'll tell you, both kids, like I said, we had to talk to, as you can imagine, are not doing well.
I can imagine that they're not.
But that's something I needed to clear up. And like I said, by her own statement, she was trying to stop you. She doesn't say, obviously, that you came at her in any way. But because she's one of the parties to that, and I talked to her, you're the other party to that. Can't talk to Tana, so that's why I ask you. And if that's how it is, then that's fine. If you don't recall exactly how that happened, but you know you didn't do it on purpose, that's fine. That's all I'm asking. And so she's jumping up and down on the bed saying, "Stop hurting my mommy," and you guys are on the floor already.
Probably trying to push her away like this, trying to keep her away from us.
Okay. Okay.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
You mentioned that Tana, kind of during this "stop hurting my mommy," we asked you, well, what was going on, and you said that you guys were struggling, probably over this knife. I'm relatively certain is what was going on. But then you made the comment that Tana was face down, and so my question is how do you struggle over a knife if she's face down,
I remember her
dying in front of you?
I remember her being face down at one point, and turning back and putting her arm up in the air like this because the kids were on the bed, and she was put her arm up in front of the kids.
Okay.
And as I recall, that's when she said.
So at that moment, what are you doing? Are you watching this? Are you still slashing?
And I believe that's when she got slashed with the knife. That could be when she got slashed with the knife.
Okay, so
So
then that
is
leaves
when
me.
she's throwing her arm up in the air, putting her arm up in front of the kids.
Okay, so then that leads me to my next question, and is you said that you're struggling over this knife. Well, to me, that doesn't sound like a struggle. That sounds like you've got a knife in your hand, and your wife is dying in front of you and your children, and she's reaching up for her kids, and you're slashing her. That's what that sounds like to me. That sounds like there's no struggle over a knife. That sounds like you have full control of a knife, and you're taking it out on your wife. Help me understand this.
That's not what happened. That's not what I was doing.
Okay, and I don't know, like we've discussed, we weren't there, so we don't know. So that's why I'm saying, help me understand how what you've just explained to me is you struggling over a knife with your wife.
I can't. I don't know.
Okay.
Was there ever a time, John, that this became, I mean, she's interfering with what you're trying to do, right? And obviously, like you said, the knife ends up in her throat, so you're saying that was an accident, is that right? Okay. So the slash on her arm isn't an accident because you were slashing at someone with a knife. Is that right? Do I have that wrong?
It's more of a panicked reaction.
Okay. So it sounds like your panicked reaction where you're slashing and all this stuff is going on, I don't know for how many minutes, but not just one slash, get away from me. Now you guys end up on the ground, and like you said, she's kind of doing this, and there's still slashing happening. So at one point in your brain, where does this like change? What are you thinking? Like, help us understand what is going through your mind at that time.
I can't answer that.
Why not?
The final slash, I guess, is when I got up. I don't know.
When you got up.
I guess when the kids ran out of the room.
Okay, so what I'm asking you is to tell me what you were thinking, and you are the only person who knows that. So why can't you answer that?
I don't know.
Is Tana part of the problem that makes you feel useless?
No.
Has she ever been?
No.
Okay, well, I gotta tell you, this isn't a couple of little paper cuts we're talking about here. Okay? So why did she get the butt end of all that? That's what I'm trying to understand.
Can't answer that.
Why not? You can't, or you don't want to?
I don't want to.
Why not?
Why don't you want to answer, John?
Because Tana did not deserve what happened to her. And I'm tired of talking about hurting her.
Well, that's one thing we can agree on. I think she didn't deserve it either. That leaves me to assume a lot of things if you don't fill that in. Why?
I don't know why. I can't answer that question.
Well, you're the only one who can. You did that. Not me, not him.
I haven't denied that I did it. I did it. I
Right.
haven't denied it.
I appreciate that, but you're the only one who knows why that went on for so long and why so many injuries. That's the part that's not too clear for me at this point.
It's not clear to me either.
You're in such a rage that you don't even remember. Where is that rage coming from? What happened? I don't understand why this is all directed towards her.
It shouldn't be directed towards her.
Agreed.
I can't tell you why. If it was directed towards her, I can't tell you why.
So it just happened to be her. Like, wrong place, wrong time. Is that what you're saying?
It's not.
Okay, then that's why I'm asking. You fill me in. What do you mean by that?
I'd like to stop answering questions for a minute.
Okay.
You want a break?
I'm ready
That's
Okay.
totally fine. Do you want anything besides water?
No, I don't want anything besides water.
We have chips if you want something to munch on.
Chips.
Okay.
All right, John, you take a minute to yourself, okay? I think you're, well, I know from what you're saying, you're a very intelligent person, so you know what we're asking you, right? So think about that, please. Okay? And we will be back.
I'll give you a couple of minutes, okay? Got a few minutes to calm down? All right. Do you need more water?
No.
Okay. So John, I mean, like we said when we walked out, I think you know what we want to know or what we're asking you. You know, I think that's, we're not trying to beat around the bush. We want to know the narrative. You know, and you know exactly what it is that we're asking. You know, essentially how Tana sustained these injuries, and you've given us what I feel like is a small portion of it. You know, and regardless if that's because you don't recall or you don't remember or, like you said, you don't want to answer, I can get behind all of that. I understand the desire not to talk about this because this is, I'll be honest with you, this is a really deep, very hard subject matter to discuss, you know.
For everyone.
For everyone. I don't like it. She doesn't like it. I know very well that you don't like it. And, you know, for someone who is, albeit very smart, probably a lot smarter than I am, you probably process things a lot more differently and probably a lot faster than I do. And so, yeah, you probably take a little bit more vivid detail out of this than I do. And I'm sorry we have to discuss it. I really am. Like, I wish there was another way that we could do this. But the bottom line is there isn't.
In summation, I am a person who has been beaten down by society for my entire life. I have had everything taken from me. Everything given to me and taken from me. I believe the American dream is a farce.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I have everything. I have a house. I have a wife. I have 2 kids. I have a nice job. I have a nice car. I have good parents. I have everything.
Sure.
But it's all just empty. And it doesn't matter how hard you try, it just keeps getting taken away from you, and taken away from you, and taken away from you.
And what is it?
It just not taken away from you, not taken away from you. It's just like an empty hole in the ground. I mean, who cares if your house is a little bit bigger, cars? This is not in relation to this case. This is just the way that I feel. Who cares if your house is a little bit bigger, your car is a little bit nicer, and then you go to work and you got to get in some mediocre fight with 3 people who have the exact same education than you and have the exact same background as you and almost look exactly the same way as you and take a bunch of shit from them all day, every day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then you got to have a wife who nitpicks at you because, she's got to drive the kids to school for an extra 5 minutes. And you're not going to help drive for an extra 5 minutes, even though you just got an extra $20,000 raise, And then you turn on the news and listen to the dumbasses talking on the news. You've got no choice for president. The environment's going to shit, and you just keep getting beaten down and beaten down and beaten down. And should Tana Erickson take the brunt of that rage from me? Absolutely not. I just fucking snapped one day.
Yeah.
That makes sense, John.
And I'll be honest with you, if I was in your position, I don't know what I would do. I don't.
I just fucking snapped.
You have no safe haven. Home's not peaceful. Work's not peaceful. The environment's not peaceful. This crummy ass political shit going on is not peaceful. So you are in chaos 24/7 on the inside.
I get picked, and I have to hold it all up. And no matter how much I hold it up, everybody tells me I'm wrong, and you're not doing good enough.
And you know what?
I just finished, no, I read constantly. I just finished reading the book Atlas Shrugged, where the people who do that, have you read that book?
No, what is it
No,
called?
Atlas Shrugged, where the people who do all of the work hold everything up, and one day they decide, I'm just going to stop. And so about a month ago, I just stopped. I just pick. And I just lost it.
Couldn't take it anymore.
I just couldn't take it anymore.
I don't blame you.
And one of the sweetest people around ended up taking the brunt of it. And I'm a piece of shit for doing it.
Well, I don't think that.
I do.
Okay. Well, you know, there's a lot of junk in the world, a lot of which is outside of my control. I've been in a position where I've been picked, and after so long, so many years of being picked at, yeah, I had my moment of snapping as well. And I can very much relate to how you're feeling.
Probably just didn't snap as hard as I did, right?
For me, it was very bad.
Okay?
Yeah.
So, I know I'm in a real bad way. I'm going to pay big for this. But that's what happened. You know?
Yeah.
So, from what you're saying, John, like I just told you, it sounds like you have no place for peace. It's just chaos all the time. And you're trying to hold it up the best you can, but it's never fucking good enough to anybody. Like, even the little stupid shit, like, no, I can't drive someone for 5 minutes. I have shit to do, by the way. I make all the money here. I just got, like you said, like that bonus or raise or whatever. What the fuck else do you want from me? And then, at the very end, when you're like, fuck this shit, I'm out, someone tries to stop you, do that.
Fuck this shit, I'm out. It's like, I'm tired. Well, now we gotta go to a little kid Halloween party. Well, I don't want to go to a little kid Halloween party.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Let's stop picking at me.
Yeah. I get it.
Okay, so she wants you to go to
Now-
a stupid party.
Oh, no. Party's irrelevant. That was a superficial statement.
Right. It's just one little thing. I get it, but continue.
You know, it's always that one thing that's you got to go to the little kid Halloween party, or your mom or your parents' house, or your whatever, or you got to drive you got a soccer practice, or you got to whatever.
Can I
So
just
it's the
have,
little thing that gets you.
can I just have 1 fucking minute to myself?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now I'm not going to have any fucking minutes to myself because I'm going to be in a fucking jail cell.
So you finally decide, like I said, like, fuck this shit, I'm out. And you try to do that when they're away, but then someone has to come in and stop you.
Just like, fuck this shit. I'd rather be dead than deal with this shit.
And then what happens when you
And
try to
then
just...
somebody comes in and tries to stop me. And I had a better way of doing it, but she kept taking away all the better ways. If she hadn't taken away my shotgun, I wouldn't be in this situation. That's some fucked up shit, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense to me. Like I said, you're trying to peacefully take yourself out of the situation so you don't have to be not good enough for anybody. They can get on with their damn lives and you could just be out. But she can't even let you do that.
I get it. That's frustrating.
So she comes in, you're literally in the process of trying to take yourself out of the situation, and she has to physically stop you from doing that.
Just enough. And then this.
What? Oh. It was just enough. You snapped, like you said. So you've led us all the way up to that point. That makes a lot more sense. Appreciate you telling me all that stuff. That makes a little more sense to me about what you were thinking. That's what we had asked you before. Tell me exactly what you were thinking when all this stuff was going on. She tries to take this shit from you.
She tries to take it, and then it just goes into a rage. And it's just, I can't tell you, event for event, stab for stab, or slash for slash, I can't tell you that.
But you said goes into a
It
rage.
just
Snapped.
snapped. It was just, I have had it with this shit. And the wrong person paid. Nobody should have paid. Like, the wall should have paid or something like that, you know.
Well, you tried to, like you said, you tried to take yourself out of it, but she had to come in and stop you.
No. Shouldn't have reached the point of me having to do that to begin with, right? Should have, you know, used different methods, but
Well, it sounds like that's one of those picks.
here we are.
You know, your other methods were taken. It's just another thing to lead to that moment of snapping.
It's not fair.
No. No, it's not.
Well, where do we go from here?
Well, you've cleared up, like I said, you've cleared up a little bit more about kind of like what went into that. That makes a little more sense, not just a little, you know, few little things that happened at work. This other bigger picture makes a little more sense, right? That was just the icing on the cake, it sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
That, and then now we gotta go to this stupid party, like just little sprinkles on top, right? And then the very last thing to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, is no one can even let you damn kill yourself in peace. Like, right? That's the last thing. That's it. There's a rage, like you said, and you killed your wife.
That was just, it's about the sum of it.
Huh. Obviously, your methods of trying to kill yourself. You know, you've tried cutting your wrists and your neck.
Mm.
You know, tell me, it's whether it's extremely coincidental, which I don't think it is, but the injuries on Tana were very similar to the ones that you've done to yourself.
Uh-huh.
To the point where she had, obviously we've talked about the slice on one arm, she had a very similar slice on the other, and she had the neck was cut, you know. Now your claim, your statement was that in that struggle, that knife went into the left side of her neck, you know, and that's where she exclaimed, "Oh my God, what are you doing? What have you done?" You know. Tell me about those marks, the other mark on her arm. You know, you talked about the one on one arm, but she has a matching or identical cut or incision on the other arm.
I can't tell you about the cuts.
Okay.
I can tell you about the cuts on my throat.
Sure. Yeah.
I know I got her in the throat.
The one time, at least.
And how many times did I get her in the throat? I have no idea.
Okay. Well, that's what I'm wondering, is what you can tell me about that.
I had cut my wrist. It clearly was not working. I know I had got her in the throat, and it was clear to me that that is what had killed her. So I thought, I'll do the same to myself to finish myself off.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I can explain the cut on my own.
Sure.
I can explain my own cuts. The cuts on her, not so much.
Okay. Okay. Well. So your statement to us is that during this argument, you know, we've established the one in the throat, and there's this moment of slashing. You know, now we've established there was probably some rage. There was some rage behind that slashing, you know, and that and some of those other moments of insanity, if you will, or moments of rage, if we will. So this is what ended up happening to Tana. So that one on the right below her chin and to the right, just a hair, with that downward angle a little bit, that's her left side. And based on your statement to us earlier, I'm just going to surmise that that's probably the one that went into her throat. This one here. See that downward angle right there? That one there? Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's, as far as my understanding is, and based off of what you've told us today, that's where I assume that first knife cut went into.
That would be probably the point where they had the knife like this and they kind of went.
Okay.
Whatever
you're sitting on the bed.
up like this or up like this
Sure.
or whatever the case
Sure.
may be. Yeah.
Okay. So then my question is how did the one on the right side happen?
No idea. No idea.
Okay. Well, I had the unfortunate opportunity to go to her autopsy. And the injury on the left side of her neck that you have said that you recall is from the struggle was not the fatal shot. The fatal shot was this one right here. That injury right there was deeper, was wider, and it severed completely her carotid artery. Now that injury right there, that doesn't happen from slashing. I'll show you this one. This one here is just kind of a close-up of that left side. During the autopsy, the doctors determined that the blade actually punctured completely through her trachea, her airway. So if that right side carotid was not cut, she would have drowned in her own blood because she was aspirating and breathing in her blood. So there's lots of blood in her lungs. So this is the crux of what I'm trying to find out how it happened. You know. Can you tell me how to put this puzzle together?
No, I can't.
Okay. And I can respect that. Absolutely can. I'm sorry you had a nitpicky wife that put lots of stressors on you including your career, including your parents, including your neighbors, your friends, on top of the alcohol use, I can only imagine that the stress that you're under, making all of this money and not being appreciated, it's a hard thing.
I know that sounds terrible.
Well, I think you and I and Detective Holz are in agreement that the wrong persons suffered the consequences of these things. She didn't deserve it. Kids didn't deserve it. Them.
I assume they're staying with their grandma.
They're with some family. But that's not where they belong. You got cute kids. We had the pleasure to spend some time with them. But like we said earlier, they're not doing well. They watched their father murder their mother. It's a hard thing to come back from, you know.
Right? Yeah.
She got
So
some
she-
spunk to her.
So she's pretty adamant. And the reason why I was kind of honing in on that earlier, because I really want to understand what she was saying. I mean, you would agree. I spent some time with her, but she's your daughter, so she's very mature for her age. She's very good at details. I don't think she has any reason to lie to me. Okay?
You couldn't get anything out of it.
Right. Okay. So I trust her account of what happened because she saw it all. So I want to know more about what was happening when she was laying on the ground and you were there.
When Connor was laying on,
What were you doing? This woman, John, listen, you're nodding your head yes. Sorry, I don't hurt your feelings. You're nodding your head yes when I'm saying that. What happened when that took over?
don't remember that taking over.
Okay, but you're nodding your head yes. Tell me about that.
Don't remember putting deliberate poisons.
Okay, then you split. Help me understand why you're nodding yes when I'm saying that. Really?
I don't remember putting deliberate poisons in. I remember struggling and slashing.
Okay. So when I'm saying that something took over, and at some point she had to die, and these cuts seem very deliberate, and you're nodding your head, tell me what you're thinking.
If I have to suffer through all of this stuff, why should she have to suffer the same stuff?
Right.
It's not good enough for me. It's not good enough for anybody, really. It's almost like doing her a favor.
So at some point, that's what entered your mind.
Be better off.
It's a shitty world.
Shitty world. You'd be better off.
So tell me exactly at what point you were thinking that, John.
The point that I knew she wouldn't make it.
And what happened after that?
Don't remember.
Okay. When you thought to yourself, if this shitty world's not good enough for me, why should she have to stay in it? We've already got to this point. I already know she's not going to make it because of what happened. Where was she at that point?
Laying on the floor next to the bed.
Okay. So you're thinking, we're already here.
We're already here. Just put her out of her misery.
Okay. And what did you do?
Just cut her throat.
Okay. So, thank you for telling me that, John. I know that's been right here the whole time, and probably right here. They're connected, your stomach and your heart. You've been feeling it for a few days, I imagine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that, like you said, you already think she's not going to make it. Let's just end all of this. And you thought you would end yourself, so I know that was part of the plan. Right. And then so she's laying on the floor, and you do another cut just to put her out of her misery. Okay. And so, since I know those are some hard pictures to look at, but my partner showed you that. So the one you originally talked about on her left side is still true, right?
I guessed.
Do you, yeah.
So you tell me which one that was. She would have been laying on her
I
face
guess this is the first one.
first. Okay. And then she's laying down and you're like, she's suffering.
I think maybe this is two cuts here. Yeah. She's laying down. See?
Okay.
Cut her there. Yeah.
So she's laying down.
Yeah.
And when you say this is two cuts, help me understand that.
Well, this is one of the first ones I got her, so she's laying down. I said she's already cut there. I'll just cut her again in the same spot.
Okay. So you're right-handed, right?
Yeah.
So you have the knife in your right hand, and she's face down.
Yeah.
Tell me exactly how you did that.
It's this thing. I can't explain exactly how it happened.
So let's just say this is her head. She's laying down.
Just that. It was a straight blade knife. You could just go in, just cut.
Okay. And what did you do right after that? You put her out of her misery, then what?
There's nothing. I got up, I went and I laid on the bed, I took a big drink of whiskey, and I did this. Finished myself.
So you guys can both float off together.
Yeah.
See, John, that makes a lot more sense to me. Thank you for getting that off your chest, okay?
Yeah.
It's hard. It's a hard thing to talk about, John.
Well, part get the help she needs. So you were there and she was there. What do you think she saw? Okay.
She saw a struggle. She didn't see me do this to her neck.
So I just want to make sure I have this right. So everything we were talking about earlier was kind of a rageful, violent slashing, just everything going on, and then you realize what you did already. So you're going to put her out of her misery and just let her die.
It only lasted a minute,
Right. They seem like forever, but they're only like a minute.
30 seconds, a minute. That's all that it lasted.
Okay.
And then saw what was happening, tried to stop us, and then ran back out. Then she probably only saw a couple seconds of it.
Okay. And that's going to help her counselors and things and stuff like that understand what level of trauma she's at. And you're exactly time with it because he's not as vocal as she is.
Mm-hmm.
So part of my job is I'm going to be making sure they get all the help they need. So you being open and honest with us today and helping us understand what happened and what they saw is going to help me understand what they've been through.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. John, that was a lot to get off your chest. So that kind of came out towards the end. Is there anything else that you left out when we were talking to you? Anything else that's unexplained?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No. I know you won't tell. I know you won't tell me, but I can assume, make sure that.
Okay. That'll all get figured out.
Yeah.
And my only interest, trust me, is that they are safe somewhere and getting the help they need because this is a horrific thing.
Yeah.
You know, I can't guarantee like when or if I would ever be able to show them, but do you want to write them an apology letter?
Yes, but clearly not right now.
Why not? We have some paperwork to do, so you'd be here for a minute anyway.
It's too much to process right now to write something like that down.
Okay, well, I recommend doing that at some point. Probably to Thomas' family, too. All right, so now that we've kind of gotten to the end of that, we need to review our notes and make sure there's nothing else that got left out, okay?
Can I get you another bottle of water?
No, but I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
A bathroom break?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll go grab our other meal partner because I can't come with you. And then we'll make that happen, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, John. Body break.
I'll see you when you get back. I can't come. It's a boys' only party. You sure you don't want another water? So something else we have to do, among a million other things, John, is when someone gives us a statement, not just you, anybody in a case, We always have to back it up forensically. So what we'll be doing is we'll be testing things in the case. I wanted to ask if you'd be willing to let me take a DNA sample from you. It's basically a Q-tip on your cheek. It's very quick. Is that something you're willing to release to me?
Sure.
Okay. So what I do need you to do is make sure you read this before, okay? And if you do agree, then just write your name there and then sign right here, okay? So make sure you read it. $31st. And let's see, $4.49. Thank you. I'm just gonna do that myself real quick. Like I said, it's just like a Q-tip on the inside of your cheek. You shouldn't really feel anything too painful anyway. Okay, so all I need you to do is open wide. Thank you. It's going to seem like an absurd amount of times that I'm doing this, but that's how we do it. Crazy how you can get DNA from your cheek, huh? Cheek cells. Thank you. Alright, so I'm sure Dane told you, but we'll just be a few minutes getting some stuff together, okay? Thank you.
All right, John. One last form I have for you. We're getting ready to take off here in a second, but this here is a medical records release. I'd like to get your medical records from the hospital. If that's something you're willing to sign for me, I just need a signature right down here.
You already have all this information up here.
Yeah, so this is just your personal information. If you want to fill that out, you're welcome to do that. If not, I'll fill it in for you. And then this is where we just say what facility we're getting them from. In this case, it would be IMC. This is for any substance abuse, like drugs or alcohol levels, things like that.
You fill it out and then I'll sign it.
Okay. Tell me, no, it's John Weston. And Erickson is Erickson, is that right?
Correct.
Okay, what is your this is your address. I'll put down your home there. And that's technically Midvale, is that right?
That's right.
Okay.
Eight 4047.
Yep, let's just remember that. So this is from IMC. I'll put the address in later, but essentially I'm going to request your inpatient, outpatient, emergency records, and ambulance transport. Oh, and then I'll do unified fire as well. And that'll just be the ambulance transport. This will be the date of the incident. Just put current. Date of the incident. Okay. So this is for substance abuse treatment records. I'm not interested in that. Okay. Down here, I'll say this is my agency's information. Okay, so from here, this one I have to let you decide. So this gives me the amount of times I can go back. So this first checkbox is this will expire in a year from now. Essentially, the reason someone would check that is if you have follow-up visits because of the surgeries or anything like that within this year time frame. I can go back without having to get another one of these and say, yeah, hey, I need this. This box here allows me for a one-time use only, so I can go back now and get whatever they have on file.
Let's do the first one.
The year sign, the year mark. Okay, I'll check that for you. And that's it. And then I just need a signature from you there and a date over there. And today is the 31st. Okay. Let me just grab a couple of things and we'll get out of here.